Okay, we'll call this meeting back to order, and looks like the hospital was on the agenda first, but
I'm trying to track him down.
okay.
He might be here now.
But I think we have Helen Dobbs here for 9:30. So Helen,
How is everybody?
good.
I just wanted to run by a few things. One is that the county, I believe it was by resolution, offered incentives for businesses. And I don't have a copy of that with me, but some of the things that were on there that possibly offered to the businesses were signage reimbursement, attorney's fees, possible lodging, consulting with an attorney, and other things that you might offer. And so if you don't have a copy of that, I will get it to you, because I would like for you to review it before I hand any more of those out, should somebody come in and think that you might do something that you can't do.
Probably be a good idea.
So that's one thing. And also, are you familiar with the Rural Opportunity Zone? Okay. The state of Kansas set up certain counties, mostly because of declining population, as rural opportunity zones, and Cheyenne County was one. And what they did is that the counties had the option to participate with the state on a matching basis to offer $15,000 reimbursement for student loan forgiveness. Cheyenne County did participate in that, and I'm not sure what year we're in right now, if it is over or not. But last year, there was a resolution signed that you participate in the program to the extent that if the businesses wanted to do the match with the state, they could, but the county would not participate. And so they need a new resolution signed to that effect, and I ran out of ink in my copier, but here's a copy of the resolution, and it just has a 0 in there for your participation. And the Department of Commerce needs that back.
What is the criteria for this?
You have to move to Cheyenne County from a metropolitan area or from out of state. The other part of the program is if you're moving here from out of state, that you can have a waiver of your income tax for 5 years. But that has really nothing to do as far as you guys need to sign that. And I don't know what the statistics were on that. Every year I just get a list of the people that have been in the program, and if a fee is due, then they let you know. And all I do is just verify that the people in the program are still here and working.
Who collects the information and then ultimately approves who receives
The
it?
Kansas Department of Commerce.
Okay.
Is there anybody in this program now?
There were 5 people in it. I'm not sure which year you're at, if we're at the 5th year or not. And I will get, later on this year, I'll get a notice from the Department of Commerce if anybody's still in it, because I don't know what year you were at. But I do know that some of the people who were in it have moved, and so then whoever was next in line had been approved would go up. So, like I said, I'm not sure what the status is of that at this point.
And this is funded how?
The state pays, like on the $15,000, it's over a period of 5 years. The state pays half and the county paid half. And on the student loan forgiveness.
But since the county,
Okay, but,
since the
all right.
commissioners aren't giving that,
Okay,
where does that come from?
so if people are still in program for that 5 years, the commissioners would be responsible for that first 5 years. And like I said, I don't know what the status is of that. But I think last year was the first year that you decided you didn't want to be in the program, so nobody would get in there afterwards. So it would be the initial $15,000 that you pledged to do that. At $1,500 a year per student. There was one that got, it wasn't $1,500, it was like $1,400 something, because that student loan was a little bit less. But I can check on that and let you know exactly where you are with it.
Yes, if you would.
Okay.
How many participants do we have in Cheyenne County? Do you know?
There were 5, up to 5.
Up to.
And then there was a waiting list. So if somebody moved, then the next person on that waiting list moved up.
So you're saying we decided not to participate last year?
Unless you,
I don't remember it.
or maybe, or was it the year before? I can't remember.
Somebody call me last year and ask, and I said, I didn't know we were doing that still. Because I'm new, I didn't
yeah.
know. And she was going to find some stuff out, call me back. I never heard one word from
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever presented anything to us formally.
Okay, and it may be been at the other board, but I know that whichever board it was, signed 0, which is this one, to say you don't want to participate, but it still allows the businesses, like if the hospital wanted to offer $1,500 as an incentive for somebody to come and work there, that would be matched by the state. So it opens it up for the businesses to do that, but the county is not participating.
So basically, you need from us just approval of this resolution.
Right. And then it needs to go back to the Kansas Department of Commerce.
Well, do I hear a motion to go ahead and approve this resolution? It doesn't have a number to it, but
And I don't know where you are with your resolutions, so.
do you want to, do you have any comments or additions or?
I'm just kind of curious how, the way in which the resolution is written is that it's Cheyenne County, and then Cheyenne County is contributing 0. And I don't see how, under this resolution or this program, if this is the way that it's reading, that the businesses can still come in under this program and be matched by the state, when this is all reading Cheyenne County. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right. And when I got it, that's what I called it, and I said they aren't participating. What do I do? And they said put 0 in that line as far as the county's concerned. And I don't know if they have a different resolution that they would have a business sign or not. And I can't tell you whether any businesses are participating either, because that would be with them in the Department of Commerce. So.
And this is a state document, a state generated document?
Yes, except for the part where Cheyenne County is in there, and it was blank, so I put Cheyenne County in.
Well, usually state documents usually always have their mark on it somewhere.
I'd like a little more information.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Personally.
Okay.
Who's to say we're not willing to participate? I mean, I don't know. We had more information. Why don't,
So you're saying a few years back, the county commissioners approved $15,000
Right, a year for 5 years.
for 5 years.
Right.
15 a year for 5 years.
And there were,
And
or, well,
there was like
well, and
5 of
then,
them.
and that was, okay, that was, and half of that would be paid by the state. So you paid to each participant $1,500 a year for 5 years. Except the one which, that student loan was a less, and it was 14
so
something.
roughly about 30,000 over 5 years.
Yeah. And I honestly don't know what year we're at.
let's do a little more research, and if you would be willing to come back in a couple of weeks and,
Okay.
All the things we do to try to get youth back here. Might not be a bad program. I mean, maybe we don't need a zero in there. I don't.
well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'd like to know the reasoning behind all this. I mean, why they did this.
And it was as an incentive to get,
Talk about former commissioners,
okay,
why they got out of the program.
I know it's
I don't know.
a lot of money, but
Well, it may pay off for the county in the long run.
Good
That's
cause to bring youth back, to pay part of their
Would be-
student loans.
perfect for like Kelly. I mean,
And there were some of the people in the program that also moved back with their spouses and had children, so it did increase it. I think one of the counties, Greeley County, has really embraced the program, and some of the counties have funded more than 5 people.
yeah, I think we'd like some more information. It may be something that we'd be willing to participate in again
Okay,
if it looks reasonable.
okay.
So,
I will come back in 2 weeks on that.
all right, thank you.
In regards to the Land and Sky Scenic Byway, they were supposed to start installing the interpretive signage on April the 26th. And they're supposed to start at the Rickery Breaks, which will be one sign there. There'll be a 3-panel, 2-sided kiosk at the state line, and then 3 panels at Highway 27 and Road B. There is some construction activity at the state line, but I haven't been able to catch anybody there, so they may or may not have started that. But it was supposed to be completed in July, and I think they're behind schedule, but I don't know where they are, so that's kind of the update on that. Also, I gave you some information prior to this about the Big Kansas road trip, and here's just some information on the one that was held this year in Barber, Comanche, and Kiowa counties. I did go down to kind of see what the communities were doing. And at the end, Marcy Penner with the Kansas Sampler Foundation announced that this event would be held in Cheyenne, Sherman, and Wallace counties next year. So it'll be the first Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of May. And Marcy will be coming out to talk to the community at a whole to kind of let them know what to do and what to expect. And this is a copy of the press release that she sent. Basically, we don't know how many people will show up. We don't know what will happen. But it's a way to show off your community and just let them know what there is to do and see and taste and feel and whatever. Some of the communities down there had their firehouses have an open house. It was like bring your own lawn chair, and every so often they would give a presentation on what the fire department did. There was another community that had a community center, and people just came in and put their displays out on tables, their collections. One of the ladies had a quilt display. Another one had miniature John Deere implements. Just all kinds of things were going on. There was a business that works on old clocks, and in the back he has a printing press, so that was open to come in and see. The land rush also happened in one of the counties, so they could talk about the history of the land rush. They had cookbooks for sale and a little cup with a lid on it if you wanted to get some dirt from the land rush. Some people put up barn quilts around, the communities. There's a couple that bought an old carousel. They had it open. You could ride on the carousel. Just a number of things, basically, whatever you do. So we need the businesses to be open during that period of time. My husband went with me. We spent about $800, including $300 was for lodging, which is going to be something that we don't have a lot of. But if you know anybody that has a house that they rent out, I would like to know so that we can get those all rented during that period of time. But there were a lot of people there. I don't know how many. But they did have books at each one of the events, so you could sign in and kind of keep track of that. So we'll get some more information on that later. There will be some cost involved in this, but I'm not sure how much yet. I think it'll be very minimal. They printed, I think, 300 of their yard signs to kind of give directions to people. And 100 of those went to each of the counties. They have gifted those to us, so we won't have to buy them unless we need more. I don't think we'll probably need any more unless they lost a lot, because it goes along the byway, so it's kind of a straight shot with things going off, so it's easier to navigate in these 3 counties than it was in those 3. But it's a good opportunity to showcase our counties and let people know what there is, and maybe they would like to move here after they see what we do, but at least they'll come and spend some money.
What 3 counties did you say?
Cheyenne, Sherman, and Wallace. Yeah,
The byway.
yeah, right.
May actually coincide with the car show next year.
They'll be the next weekend.
Will it be the
Yeah.
next one?
Sharon Springs does have a car show that weekend. Yeah.
Well, sounds to me like we just need to get the word out to the businesses and see how much participation you're going to get.
And I gave I met to both the city council meetings and let the city council meetings and let them know. The CC4C had me talk with them the other day, and I've also asked to speak at the next Cheyenne County Strategic Doing, because I think that's a good representation of the county, and just to let people know what's going on.
Good.
That's all I
keep
have.
Close contact with the newspaper also.
I will.
All right. Thank you, Helen.
You're welcome.
Hi, good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. Sorry I'm late.
It worked out fine.
Okay. Just go over the April stats with you. This is actually probably the healthiest Cheyenne County's been in about 5 years. Good for Cheyenne County, not so good for the hospital. But we had 3,056 outpatient visits, which that was inpatients were down to 15. That's the least amount of inpatients we've had in 5 years for a month. So ERs are 54. Rural health clinic visits were 613. 15 surgeries, 65 visits to specialty clinic. The acute length of stay was 2.71 days. Swing bed length of stay 11.83. Acute average daily census 2.05, and the swing bed average daily census was 2.84. So.
Well, not much we can do about numbers. I mean,
it's cyclical. I'm glad people are feeling better. I mean, we did go through a stretch there, a little bit longer than what we had in the past couple years, at least, for people being sick in, January, February, March. So, but it usually evens out. So.
sure.
Yeah.
How's your recruiting going for physicians?
Well, Dr. Scott is here, will be here in August. So that's, I don't know exactly when that's going to be. It's going to really depend on when he gets his license from the state of Kansas. Unfortunately, the state of Kansas the Board of Healing Arts only meets every other month. So if they would meet every month, I think we would have him here in July. But, it's just...
So he has a definite commitment.
Yes, yeah, he's given notice where he's at, and he gave notice for 2 reasons. One, he wants them to know, but they also wrote letters of recommendation for him to the Kansas Board of Healing Arts. So.
All right, well, good luck with that venture. You have a hospital board meeting this afternoon?
Tomorrow
afternoon.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm convinced today's Wednesday for some reason. Okay, anything else?
I
Think of?
didn't know if you wanted to discuss that other piece that we were talking about earlier with Heart and Stroke Collaborative. or if that's something that you want
Do you need some clarification, or do you need,
to, maybe just a couple minutes.
okay, you want executive session
Yeah,
for that?
if we could do that.
Okay, so we have a request for executive session, non-elected personnel for 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.